Hey, did you know before we were Volusia County, this area of Florida was known as Mosquito County? Learn how Volusia observes National Mosquito Awareness Week. Then our Parks, Recreation, and Culture Division offers a trail that challenges extreme bike enthusiasts. Find out about one of the top off-road bicycle trails in Florida. And finally, we'll go into the studio with Community Information Director Dave Byron, who will introduce you to Volusia County's new Emergency Management Director, Jim Judge. This is Volusia Magazine, and I'm Amber Patterson. You know, lightning strikes are pretty common in the state of Florida, and it's important to know what your risks are. So to avoid becoming a victim, here are some safety tips. Lightning is directly responsible for approximately 9 deaths and 60 injuries in Florida each year. Learning about lightning and its dangers and safety measures can greatly reduce your risk from being affected by lightning. You're much less likely to become a lightning victim if you remain indoors when thunderstorms are near. Most people struck by lightning are in open areas or they're out on the water. However, some people are killed or injured by lightning even though they may be indoors, so it's also important to understand indoor lightning safety. Ryan Williams, Operations Manager with Volusia County Emergency Management, said one common household item you should avoid is the telephone.
If you're at your home, of course, and you hear that first clap of thunder and you go ahead and go indoors, there's still a few precautions that you'd probably want to take. That would be, try to stay off the telephone if it's a hard line phone. Obviously, if it's not and it's just a cordless, you should be okay with that. Another thing is that lightning has been known to travel through the plumbing. So if it's lightning outside and you're in the shower, you might want to go ahead and postpone those activities until a little bit later.
A house or other substantial buildings offer the best protection from lightning. Stay inside during a storm, avoid contact with electrical equipment, and if you plan to unplug any equipment, do so well before the storm arrives. Avoid contact with plumbing and water. Stay away from windows and doors, and stay off of your porches. Stay away from your sheds and garages. Do not lie on concrete floors, and do not lean against concrete walls. For more lightning safety tips, visit volusia.org/emergency. Volusia County recently recognized National Mosquito Awareness Week by hosting an open house at its mosquito control headquarters in New Smyrna Beach. Visitors got a rare glimpse of the county's mosquito fish hatchery, where employees breed and nurture guppies that are released into ponds to eat mosquito larvae. Residents also got a close look at the county's arsenal of spray trucks, helicopters, airboats, and mosquito traps. They even got to spin the wheel and test their knowledge of mosquito trivia. And not only that, they learned some interesting facts about the county's integrated pest management program, which has a new focus this year, according to Mosquito Control Director Jim McNelly.
Well, the Storm Sewer program is something that we're doing with folks downtown in DeLand. It's part of a National Pollution Discharge Elimination System program. So there is that, which is cleaning catch basins, making sure that they're flowing properly. But we're also finding that a lot of these storm sewers, catch basins, those graded structures at the corners and intersections on streets, hold water and produce mosquitoes. So we spend a lot of time looking at those catch basins, those storm sewers, surveying for mosquito populations, and then treating those populations.
These Rhode Island Reds, which serve on the front line of the county's mosquito control efforts, were a crowd pleaser. 36 sentinel chickens placed in 8 coops around the county are checked weekly for the presence of antibodies to mosquito-borne illnesses such as the West Nile virus. The chickens themselves don't get sick from the diseases and are retired to farms after 1 year of service.
We're seeing our sentinel chicken flocks, which are smoke alarms out in the wild, and as they monitor the virus and we get the results from them, they help justify some of the control techniques that we use, and we're seeing some of the equipment associated with those control techniques, from boats to helicopters on down to the people who are actually out in the field.
Because of our recent heavy rainfalls, mosquito control staff has been out in full service spraying with larvicides managing production sites in tidal wetlands, digging and clearing ditches, and stocking ponds with minnows. Homeowners can help by doing simple things like tipping containers and disposing of old tires and broken appliances. And don't forget your pets. Horses should be vaccinated against Eastern equine encephalitis and West Nile virus. Cats and dogs should receive monthly heartworm treatments. Learn what else you can do to help reduce the mosquito population at volusia.org/mosquito. If you're one of those extreme sports enthusiasts that likes mountain biking, then you should make plans to visit Volusia County's Chuck Lennon Park in De Leon Springs. Tucked away in the complex is a 5.8-mile single-track mountain bike trail that's regarded as one of the top mountain bike trails in Florida. Tim Bailey, the county's Parks, Recreation, and Culture Director, said mountain bike enthusiasts from throughout the area ride the trail because of its unique features amid heavy tree cover.
The Chuck Lennon Mountain Bike Trail is classified as an intermediate to advanced mountain bike trail that includes 2 advanced technical skills areas that include jumps, quick descents, and man-made and natural balance features.
The Volusia County Council recently approved a 1-year license agreement with Southern Off-Road Bicycle Association Incorporated and Flagler Area Biking, which allows the Southern Off-Road Bicycle Association affiliate to conduct non-motorized biking activities at the park. The agreement requires the association to provide ongoing trail maintenance and weekly safety inspections. The trail is open daily to the public without charge. For directions to the park and comprehensive information about recreation facilities, you can go online to sportsvolusia.com.
I'm Joshua Wagner with the Volusia County Council. If you're going to one of our beautiful beaches, have a great day and come back often. If you drive on the beach, please observe the 10-mile-per-hour speed limit and be very careful of pedestrians, especially children. If you're visiting with children, watch them constantly and take small children by the hand when crossing traffic lanes. You might want to use one of our traffic-free zones. For more beach information, please visit volusia.org.
A local manufacturer announced its North American headquarters in DeLand. Michelle Coates with the Business Beat was there.
We're in DeLand, Florida at the global headquarters for Kingspan Insulated Panels. I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat. State, county, and city officials were on hand to celebrate the announcement of global manufacturer Kingspan Insulated Panels' choice to make its North American headquarters at its DeLand site.
We know Kingspan had options, and they had options to be all over the country, and you chose here.
The business and the jobs that come with this announcement are exactly the kinds of jobs we value and need here in Volusia County.
And this wouldn't have been possible without teamwork. And I want to thank our 2 funding partners, Enterprise Florida and the County of Volusia.
Kingspan as a business is committed to sustainability and, more importantly, I guess locally, to sustainable jobs in the local community.
The decision to actually make DeLand our corporate headquarters was in the end a very, very simple one.
Kingspan Insulated Panels is a global leader in the manufacturing of insulated metal panels. We spoke to Joe Brash, President, Kingspan North America.
Kingspan is a high-performance building envelope producer. An envelope is the outside of the building. We produce high-performance panels, which is normally steel and steel with a foam insulant on the inside. It's the highest performing insulant in the market today.
The public corporation is headquartered in the United Kingdom. Ireland and the United Kingdom account for about 40% of 2012 worldwide revenues, though the company also extends into mainland Europe, North America, and Australasia.
Became a public company in 1989. Today it's now a €2 billion corporation, 80% of which is insulated products, with over 5,000 people, 50 manufacturing sites, 40 countries, 70 sales offices around the world.
Kingspan Insulated Panels is working toward dominating the North American market in the same manner it now dominates in Europe. To do so, headquarters in North America was needed.
We moved into this building a couple of years ago, and we decided that we expanded it at the back end of last year to turn it into the head office and consolidate everything onto this site.
The DeLand site was selected as its headquarters due to Florida tax incentives, machinery and equipment incentives, and available qualified workforce.
It was a great logistic hub for us. Orlando Airport is actually very convenient to get to everywhere in North America very quickly.
The county assisted Kingspan in working with the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity in developing incentives for creating new to Volusia jobs.
Over the next 18 months, we would look to create about 40 jobs here, higher paid jobs.
This migration to DeLand begins the momentum, which over time will see added jobs and production capacity in DeLand, beginning this year.
If we create 150 more jobs at 40 grand each, it's a few $100,000 going out into the community.
An excess of $2 million in annual wages are anticipated when all positions are filled. Total capital investment will be about $2.5 million for upgrading and purchasing new equipment and remodeling the current facility in DeLand. As these projects develop, Kingspan leaders anticipate adding those new jobs. Kingspan is recognized throughout the construction industry for its commitment to innovation, design, quality, and technical expertise. Thanks for joining us today at the North American headquarters of Kingspan Insulated Panels. I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat.
Heat-related illnesses claim the lives of hundreds of people nationwide every year. It's important to take precautions when working, swimming, or playing outside during the hot summer months. Stephanie Strong has more in this segment of Community Health Matters.
People suffer heat-related illness when the body's temperature control system is overloaded. The body normally cools itself by sweating, but under some conditions, sweating just isn't enough. Very high body temperatures may damage the brain or other vital organs.
It is so hot in Florida, and it's very easy to become overheated in Florida. So it's very important to drink a lot of fluids, even if you're not thirsty, stay in the shade, and wear lightweight clothing.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends easy options for beating the heat, such as using sunscreen with sun protective factor SPF 15 or higher in both UVA and UVB protection, drinking plenty of water or other non-alcoholic beverages, seeking shade especially during the midday hours, and wearing sunglasses to protect your eyes from UV rays and reduce the risk of cataracts. Sunglasses also protect the tender skin around your eyes from sun exposure. These are tips that are especially important on the beach, where shade is limited.
Well, when you come to the beach, you gotta remember that you're out in the sun. You do have the water, so that helps a lot. But always remember to wear your sunblock, stay hydrated, drink plenty of fluids, especially water, and stay under an umbrella most of the time.
Beachgoers are finding creative ways to beat the heat and to keep their children safe on a hot, hot day.
This is maybe only the second time he's been to the beach. He's just 2, but we plan to have someone with him constantly and definitely apply sunscreen before we get here and every hour, maybe hour and a half, just so he doesn't burn. He has a hat, he has one of those sun things on that protects his arms and just keeping him covered from the sun so he doesn't get burned. And keeping him, in the very, very shallow part of the water. If we go in there at all, he might be afraid. But yeah, that's what we plan to do, to keep him safe.
When it's very hot, stay indoors, and if at all possible, stay in an air-conditioned place. Electric fans may provide comfort, but when the temperature is in the high 90s, fans will not prevent heat-related illness. Taking a cool shower or bath or moving to an air-conditioned place is a much better way to cool off. Wear lightweight, light-colored, loose-fitting clothing. And never leave anyone in a hot, closed, and parked vehicle. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
As always, if you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can always log on to volusiahealth.com. Well, now let's head into the studio to join Community Information Director Dave Byron and his guest, Jim Judge, the new Emergency Management Director for Volusia County.
Well, thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. You know, all counties in Florida are required to have an approved comprehensive emergency management plan, which calls for the counties to take a lead role during a county-wide public safety threat, such as a hurricane or wildfires. Volusia County government has a new emergency management director. He's Jim Judge, who comes to our county from neighboring Lake County. Brand new to the job. Jim, thanks for being with us.
Well, Dave, thanks so much for having me on the show.
How you doing?
Well, doing real well. My 4th week into the position and just, you know, really getting up to speed in so many ways.
So you got it all down pat now, 4 weeks.
Close to it. We're working.
Hey, tell us a little bit about your background. You've had kind of an interesting background and a very diverse, really, public safety element in your career.
Yes, sir, Dave, I sure have. Well, I started right out of high school, working for an ambulance service. And of course, a little unusual, back in the 1972, a lot of funeral homes operated ambulance services. So right out of high school, went to work for a funeral home ambulance service, and we covered a small town in South Florida called Fort Lauderdale.
Okay,
so
lots of small city.
Lots of things have changed, and then from there I spent a number of years in the fire service down in the Palm Beach County area.
Right.
And then from then went on to Indian River County, where I really spent a lot of time not only in emergency management but also in emergency medical services, and was in that position for close to 15 years, and then had an opportunity over in Lake Sumter, and so for the last 13 years was over there. And then I saw this opportunity come up, and very, very happy to be here.
Well, it sounds to me like with your background, Jim, and of course the Emergency Management Division is part of the Public Protection Division in Volusia County, and your sister divisions are all EMS, public safety related, so it seems like you're going to fit in with the group.
Well, it's just wonderful, you know, and when I was in Indian River County, it was very similar to the Department of Public Protection, where we had animal control, fire, EMS, emergency management, all within the department, and that's what I saw as so appealing to Volusia County, to be back as part of a team and everyone working together. Mr. Rechtenwald, who is the Public Protection Director, has been absolutely wonderful to work with and work for.
Hey, Jim, obviously, you know, you're still trying to get to know where everything is and who everyone is and so forth, but you've been on the job now a few weeks. I'm just curious as to whether you formed any early observations about Volusia County emergency management.
Well, I think it's a wonderful department. We have a wonderful staff. And so really evaluating, reviewing, and just trying to get up to speed on the comprehensive emergency management plan, evaluating the all hazards plan, looking at our continuity of operations, but then also getting to know so many people in the community, getting to know the other division directors and so forth. So, you know, early on, I think a good thing for us is we had that tropical storm that luckily didn't hit us, but it did give me a chance to sort of review our communications with the municipalities. So have already made a number of changes and some recommendations that we'll be working on over the next few weeks to be able to enhance our communications with our city partners and with the other areas of the county. So we look forward to, you know, getting things moving and not wasting any time, but making some changes and getting things going right away.
Hey, you mentioned the Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan. Most citizens have no idea what that is, but it is a required document that kind of spells out roles and responsibilities and who's doing what and so forth. In reviewing the Volusia County Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan, what are your thoughts? A good plan?
It's a wonderful plan. You know, I think that the folks previous to me, Mr. Charlie Craig and Mr. Jim Ryan, have done a wonderful job because that plan is obviously many years old, and every year, you know, you really go back and take a look to make modifications to the plan. Sure. But it's a wonderful plan. You know, it really outlines all of the what we call the emergency support functions, and of course we at the local level have all this in place, but then we mirror the state, which also mirrors the federal government. So everyone has these emergency support functions. So, you know, ESF1 is going to communicate with the ESF1 at the state, which is going to communicate at the federal, and it's a wonderful document. It's a living document, so that it, you know, will change as change is necessary, and as the federal government, as state government also makes changes. So, continues to.
Jim, as you look at the statutory definition of the county's role in disasters, how do you see the county's role?
Well, I think that the county emergency management aid is really a focal point in type of a disaster, or even in the planning, training, education, so that we're able to bring all of these emergency support functions together in one large room, so that should the need arise where we have to request outside resources, then locally within the field, fire, EMS, animal control, any of these agencies can then come to the Emergency Operations Center through their specific emergency support function, and if we have exhausted our local needs, then we go to the state, and we go to that same ESF at the state level, make a request. Then the state's job is to find us those resources, and then when we run out of resources within the state, then it goes to the federal government, and then we get those federal assets. So this is something that's been in place for many years, and it works very, very well. And again, it's all about communication, but it's also about teamwork. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to do, is to get out to meet all the different players within the county. So as people are watching the show, I hope they'll call on me, because I would really love to get out and get all across the county to meet elected officials, to meet with fire chiefs and so on. So really working hard at that.
Would it be, to summarize the county's role, would it be accurate to say that the county's role in the state of Florida is kind of a coordinator of disasters?
It is, yes, sir, and that would be true of all 67 counties, that we serve as the coordination role. We have the primary responsibility for emergency management, of course, partnering with the municipalities and operating that emergency operations center, where everything in the community, that's the hub of the wheel. That's where everything flows into, and then information flows back out.
Jim, here we are in just the beginning of hurricane season. Won't be that long before it'll be the middle of September, and we'll be in the peak of hurricane season. This has been predicted to be an above average year. Of course, if you have one in your community, you really did not have a good year. One of the things that it seems like, from a messaging point of view, that Volusia County has done in the last few years is kind of said to the citizens, we used to say you got to be ready to take care of yourself for 3 to 5 days. Now, under the current conditions, it might be 7 or more days. Is that where we are right now, do you think? What's the message to the citizens out there?
Well, I think the message is to be prepared.
Right.
How comfortable do you want to be? Do you want to be miserable, but do you want to be comfortable? So, I think we've done a great job as not only at the local level, at the state level, but then even with FEMA, getting the word out about water, about food, about, having a radio that's battery operated, having all those provisions. You can go to our website, you can go to the state website, you can go to FEMA.gov, and there's an awful lot of information out there. But, looking at things at the local level, if we get a significant, hurricane that really impacts not only Volusia County, but the neighboring counties, we're impacted. So it's going to take a little while for us to get geared up to respond. Obviously, in a large storm, FEMA is going to be pre-deploying assets, right around us, so that they're able to come in to provide that level. But again, I think that we all have responsibilities for our families, and again, how comfortable do you want to be?
Right.
I'm going to make sure that my family has plenty of water, plenty of food, extra batteries, flashlights, and all those things, so that I don't have to worry about them. I can concentrate on doing my job. But then again, making sure that you have the plywood or hurricane shutters, and and if we give the orders to evacuate, and to really heed the information and the warnings and the direction that comes from the county.
But Jim, the bottom line really is, and it's the message, whether it's last year or next year or this year, it's that citizens at their homes and at their businesses need to have a preparedness plan, and they need to have it now, not 2 days when the storm is approaching.
Yes, sir. And it's the same thing as far as not only just the water, the food, and those items. How about birth certificates, your tax information? That all needs to be gathered in one location. So should something happen, and it could be a chemical spill, it could be a wildfire. There's so many things that could happen where you're told you've got to go, and you've got to go now.
That's true.
And then what do? You don't have time to gather things. And of course, as we see these tragedies that are happening out west, where we had the loss of the 19 firefighters, which is absolutely horrible. And then you have so many homes that have been destroyed, but a lot of those families were only given 5 to 10 minutes to get out.
That's right.
And if you don't make these preparations and you don't take this, you don't know whether it's going to be a hurricane or it could be a tornado. where if you have to, hunker down and so forth, then you're able to save a lot of valuables. But then also the recovery period. The more time that you take now in preparation, the better it's going to be for the communities we recover. And of course, we want to work very well and work very hard with our businesses, because we want to be able to make sure that they're able to recover and get back up quickly. So not just looking at the homeowner, we also want to work very well with the business community, so that should we impact, that we can help them get back up and running as quick as possible.
So here you are, 4 weeks on the job, and you're trying to get around and meet and greet people and listen and learn and so forth. As you look into the next 6 months to a year, Jim, what are your priorities going to be?
I want to get out to the
community. Besides getting through hurricane season.
I want to get out to the community.
Right. I
want to meet with the business community. We're looking for the opportunity to get involved with the chambers of commerce so that we can get the word out.
Right.
There's a tremendous amount of information available to help businesses prepare for and then also recover from. So we want to get out, community groups, mobile home parks, you name it. We want to get out, we want to spread the word, and we really want to get integrated into the fabric of Volusia County. So part of this community now, want to weave myself into the fabric and really get up to speed in so many areas, and can't wait to do a lot more. Have already done a lot in the first 4 weeks, but have a long way to go, and a lot more people that I want to get to meet.
Well, I want to also mention, Jim, that comprehensive emergency management information is available on the county's website, volusia.org/emergency. And so if people are out there trying to put their preparedness plan together or looking for information, that's a good place to go, that website.
It is. And you can always call us over at the Emergency Operations Center, and we'll be happy to provide information over the phone or any way that the folks would like to receive it.
And are you available for civic groups that may want a presentation?
Morning, noon, or night. Weekends, it doesn't matter. We want to get out.
Well, Jim, I want to thank you for sharing the information, and welcome to Volusia County government. It's great to have you. Like I say every year during these interviews, I want to wish you a very, very safe, very quiet hurricane season, and hope we don't have to have you back.
Well, Dave, it's
not that I don't like you.
It's like you and I've said before. We're going to prepare for the worst, and we're going to hope for the best.
Well, Jim, again, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Dave.
Our guest today, Jim Judge. He's the new Emergency Management Director with Volusia County Government. And with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Hey, thanks, Dave, and thank you, too, for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and just click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. You can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. The Volusia County Council will hold a workshop to discuss the Volusia Echo program at 1 p.m. Tuesday, July 16th at the Lifeguard Headquarters and Administration Center at 515 South Atlantic Avenue in Daytona Beach. Your participation is welcomed at the end of the meeting. And for more information about that meeting, you can call the County Manager's Office at 386-736-5920. And last, we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's weekly radio program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a great evening.